The problem with modern day fragrances? Well,
It's me. And I know what you're thinking. Why am I the issue with modern day fragrances? Well, allow me to explain. My name is Sprits'n Sniffs, and today we're going to be talking about the problem with modern day fragrances. So again, why am I the issue with modern day fragrances? Well, it's not specifically me, but people like me, fragrance creators, and specifically the larger creators. Why are we the issue? Well, oftentimes people look at us and they value our opinion so much that they just don't even begin to take their own opinion into consideration before making such purchases. And I get it, we've smelled a lot of fragrances and you may value our opinion, but sometimes it's better to try it out for yourself, especially before you spend so much money. That's the next topic. The amount of money and perceived value for fragrances is changed based off of what we say, essentially, specifically the bigger creators in this situation. But they have the ability to say something and hype up a fragrance, and just like that, the perceived value of that fragrance has shot through the roofs. Take, for example, a fragrance that everybody knows about, Creed Aventus. Now, about 3 or 4 years ago, when I first started getting into fragrances, this fragrance, as I remember, was like $325 or $365 US dollars is what I mean. And now it's about $500 US dollars for that 3.3 ounce bottle. Now that is in a crazy markup. And of course there's inflation, but inflation in 4 years is not going to increase a fragrance by $140. Even before that, I remember people saying that this fragrance used to be like $180. So how do we go from $180 to $500 in less than a decade? How? Well, it's all due to the opinion of these creators. Now, I'm not going to call out specific names, but of course you guys already know who I'm talking about. These people have the ability to say something and it could be not even as good, and this fragrance sales will boost astronomically, or the price will reflect in that as well. And because of that, that means we all have to suffer for such reasons. The biggest problem with modern day fragrances is the price to quality ratio. It is almost impossible to justify the price to quality ratio for most of these fragrances that are being released. But for most of these fragrance creators, it's their job to do so. And on one side of the coin, you look at it as them being dishonest maybe, or maybe them giving too much praise. Everybody's going to make their decisions and nobody's going to get hated on it. But you do have to think, what if they were just a little bit more honest about how they truly felt on some of these fragrances? When I look at a lot of these specifically designer fragrances and I see $150, $175, or $200 price tags, why is it that these dupe brands can offer the same quality or very similar products for a third or a quarter of the price? Well, a lot of things factor into this. One, they're not the originator of the scent, which means they didn't have to spend so much time and so much money to figure out the scent. Two, the presentation is usually not as good. And three, the brand name, of course, is smaller. We all know this. However, when you think about it, these dupe brands are not escaping this, idea of fragrance creators being able to boost their sales and increase their prices because of the demand. Look at Off 99 PM. When I purchased this fragrance, I purchased it for $12. That was about a year ago. Now, I'm going to be hard pressed to find this fragrance for anything under $30 or $40. Now, of course, you may think, well, $30 or $40 is still very cheap. But as far as I'm concerned, that is a 4 times markup, a 400% markup on a fragrance that was once $12. So it's still a little bit of money, yes, compared to what the original is, but compared to what it originated at, that ability to basically talk about a fragrance and boost the sales or boost their price that much is kind of crazy when you really think about it. Same thing with our Mauve Club de Nuit. I remember this fragrance was like $20 at one point, and I think it's now $40, $50, or sometimes even $60 depending on who's trying to sell it to you. And all of this is just so crazy to me. Like, your opinion is so valuable that you can just change the market just like that. To me, that is a big problem. It makes it hard to be honest for a lot of people who are making thousands of dollars off of the videos that they post. For me, though, I'm never going to throw away my honesty, no matter how much money I pay. This is, it's fun to be paid and it's nice to be paid from YouTube. However, it's never was supposed to be, you know, the number one goal for me. I mean, I appreciate that you guys are willing to support my channel in the way that you guys do, but it's never going to be worth losing my honesty. I'm always going to try to give my honest opinion, no matter how much money they try to pay me. This is not supposed to be my job. I mean, if it does one day become my sole job, that would be great. But I pray that no matter where I go, I always keep what I'm saying right now, that honesty, always forward. I mean, I'm willing to die on a lot of hills on what I think is good, and sometimes you guys completely disagree, but that's okay, because I think that's what builds this community and makes it the best. I, however, don't like that somebody's opinion can be so valued that they could basically mark up the fragrance value by a perceivable 400%. Doesn't make any sense, and like I said before, that is a big issue. So I don't want to sound like I'm going to end the video here. I don't want to sound like I'm rambling or going on too long. And I do want to say, though, it is not really the fragrance creator's fault. It is really the people that decide to buy the fragrance off of their opinions' fault. Because, of course, they may be telling the truth, actually, fully truthful about how they feel about the fragrance. But it's the fact that some people will look at that and think they have to jump on it or something. That's what really spikes up the price. You know, the supply and demand. Everybody knows this. So I don't really know what to say. There's really no way to fix it. I mean, I could tell people stop buying fragrances, but that wouldn't make any sense at all, especially not for these companies. So as far as I'm concerned, that's just a video, something I just wanted to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.